Hello out there. Hello, everyone. Hi, Facebook. Hi, YouTube. What's up? I am coming to you from North Carolina. Happy holidays. Happy holiday season to everyone. I hope everyone is doing really well. I am on vacation, y'all. Officially on vacation. And so I'm coming to you from this beautiful, beautiful place out in North Carolina that we are staying. It's a family vacation. Um, and yeah, but that doesn't stop what has to happen on Sundays. It's Sunday, it's 6 o'clock. So, gotta do what you gotta do, right? Gotta commit. So, once again, this is Serene coming to you live from my Sweet Pea and Me from North Carolina, the North Carolina edition, right? So, you may hear my children in the background. They are running around here playing pool and enjoying their holiday break, and so am I. But I wanted to come on here for a little bit and talk to you all about my topic, Let Me Downgrade You. Now, what does that mean, right? So I'll just tell you what inspired it, and then I'll jump into some things that have been happening in my life recently that made me think of this topic. All right, so I guess right now with Christmas time being, with it being Christmas time, today actually is Christmas Eve, and before I even get into that, this cool shirt that I'm wearing. So let me see if you can see the bottom of it. I just gotta give a shout out to this this show, this dance troupe. The show is called Nativity, and if you saw my broadcast last week, you'll know that I had mentioned that I had just come from seeing this show, and it was a show that my mom was in and a really good friend of mine was in last week. And this show was actually in its 11th year. They were celebrating their 11th year of doing it, and it is amazing. It is an amazing show. So Nativity, and I'm not doing any justice right now by not remembering the dance troupe's name off the top of my head. So sorry about that. I'll come to you next week with that information. But it was an amazing show. Anyhow, let's get into the topic. So, with Christmas being around, right around the corner, literally tomorrow. This is the time of the year where parents, myself included, were thinking about buying that perfect gift, and at this time already have purchased it, and it's a time of year where for me, not only do I think about the happiness and the joy of everything, but I also think about all the new toys and the new things that are going to be coming into my house. Basically, y'all, I think about the clutter. And so because of it, I start like a month before, I start like getting rid of things and just start like, oh, y'all don't play with this. Let's toss it. Let's get that out of here. Like just getting things out of the house to prepare for the new things that are coming in. And so it made me think of this topic. Then I also thought of the topic because my husband and I decided this Christmas that we weren't going to do tons of gifts, and we weren't going to do any of that this year, as a matter of fact. And we stuck to that, right? So we did this vacation because we were like, you know what? It's going to be about the experiences this Christmas. We told the kids like straight up that 2 gifts maybe from Dad and I. Grandparents, you can't control what they're gonna do. Or I choose not to control it. So who knows? When we get back home, there might be tons of stuff. But from us, the experience of this vacation, and also like two things, right? But it made me think about the fact that has been my theme for the past couple of months. Like I've been kind of just the less is more. That's been my new reoccurring thing that's been going through my mind, and it was really sparked sometime back in September by my youngest son, and so this is why I thought about the topic. This is the main reason. He is my alarm. While you're on vacation, you got to set alarms to remember to do the things like this, because I would have totally forgotten enjoying with the family and stuff. So he started middle school in September. And one of the things that, and I've spoken about it a couple of times, but he started school in September, and he started middle school. It's his first year in middle school. And one of the first things that I realized once he started middle school is that there was going to be this big adjustment period for him. Like, I knew already because my 14-year-old has already gone through the middle school life. He's done with middle school. He's 15. He's done with middle school, but I remember that it was an adjustment period for him. But I know every child is different as well. So with my youngest son, I didn't know what that adjustment period was going to look like for him. And he's still in it. So in September, I kind of waited a couple of weeks to see how he was acclimating to the new environment of middle school. And one of the first things that I realized was his disorganization. Like, he was always a little disorganized, but when he got in middle school, that really heightened because now he's taking like 7 classes, and he has 7 different teachers, and he has like 6 or 7 different notebooks and 7 different folders, and homework. He could have like 5 different homeworks per night. So I realized that there was some organization needs that had to take place for him. And so this whole theme of downgrading came about and was inspired by him. So I want to talk about the three things that I adjusted or downgraded in his life, and already it took a tremendous effect, right? So the first thing was dealing with his backpack, and I had broadcasted very briefly on Periscope about this, and I posted it on Facebook, but it was a really small snippet of something I was working on with him. But his backpack, one of the things that I noticed when I started going through his backpack at night is that he had papers everywhere, and it was like you have these 6 different folders, but none of your papers are in them, right? Like, so your papers are scattered and in between and folded up and crumpled up, look like you were trying to make airplanes with them, and and these are papers like that I need to sign. These are things that will help you do your homework, and it was just like things like that. So one of the changes that I first made was assessing his backpack. One of the things I noticed was that his backpack was this huge standard, huge backpack. It had like 5 different sections in it, and 5 different big pockets too, not just like a small pocket for pencils and things like that. It was like big pockets. All of them could fit, like out of 5 pockets, maybe 3 of them could fit folders. And so sometimes he'd have the folders in this pocket, and he can't figure out which one was where. And so the first thing I did was eliminated the big book bag, and we purchased a bag that just had 1 section. So it was just, you open it, like, you open it up, and it was just that section. That's the only stuff that you can put. The only things you can put in that bag would be in that section, so that you can have that, so he can have it in one central place. We bought him a messenger bag, so it was one of those that go, that strap across. And the feedback we immediately got when he got home from day 1 was that it was so much easier to find his stuff. And to me, that matters, because when you're switching from class to class and that bell rings and you got to go into that next classroom and pull out your stuff, if it can be more easily accessible, if it can be easier to find, then that will actually help him in the long run, right? I wasn't trying to have him adjust to the 5 backpack, the 5 pocket backpack. There are things in life that he's going to have to adjust to and acclimate to, but this wasn't one of those things that I felt needed to be the case. So we bought this bag, and that was his feedback. He was like, yeah, it was easier to get to. And he felt like it made things go a little faster for him. So I was like, all right, check, we got it. But then he shared with me that it doesn't feel too good to have that strap across the body. He said it was uneven, and a lot of books was banging up against his leg. My husband noticed that when he was walking to school with our son, that it was slowing him down a little bit because he was carrying a lot of bags on that one side of his body. So I was like, all right. At first I was like, you're going to have to just deal with that, because we just made the purchase. But then after a week, I was like, you know what? No, he said the one pocket worked, but if the bag itself, the structure of the bag doesn't work, I can do one more thing to help that out. So we found a one pocket backpack, um, to kind of adhere to both of those needs. And he's been using it now for about 3 weeks. Tremendous difference. Like, tremendous difference. He came home and was like, so much better. Like, I got the backpack thing going, the one pocket thing. I can get all my stuff. I was like, all right, we have to pay for 2 bags, but it's working. So it was worth it. So that was our first like downgrade from like a huge backpack with all the sections to one thing. Then another downgrade that we did for him is dealing with his after school schedule. So his middle school is wonderful in the sense that, I mean, it's wonderful in many, many different aspects, but its after school program is amazing. The children have so many things that they can choose from, from martial arts to woodworking to ceramics to basketball, all the sports. There's tons of things, and it's amazing what the kids are able to choose from. And I kind of got blinded by it when the school year first began, because I was so excited that I like signed him up for things. I was just like, oh yeah, he's good at soccer. Oh yeah, he's good at this. Let's put him in. Okay, the basketball season, he's great at that. And I put him in all of these things. And what ended up happening is he would do the after school program, after school, and he wouldn't finish until about 6 o'clock. And then he'd get home by around 7. We live about an hour away from his school, and he would get home at like 7, and he wouldn't have done homework. And it was like, so then he'd be up from 7 until probably like 9 o'clock. Then he'd eat late, or if he'd eat in between doing homework, and then shower. By the time he got down, it was like 10 o'clock, and he has to get up at 6 o'clock and start all over again. And so I found that it was just too much. Like, he was getting cranky, and he didn't do after school every day, but he did it 4 days a week, which is enough. I mean, that's practically every day. So what we did is I actually eliminated all the after school programs, and I told him, let's just figure 6th grade out. Let's just work with 6th grade, like homework, meeting those mandates. Like, it's great to have that extracurricular life, and he does. Saturdays he does kickboxing. So I say, let's get a better balance, a better handle on your obligations, right? So after school is, I do think that downtime is an obligation, and he definitely will get it, and he does get it. And fun time and enrichment activities are definitely, to me, an obligation, but they don't take precedence over managing your schoolwork. And so with him needing to acclimate, we downgraded him, and we downgraded by taking away every after school activity. So, and at first he was like, that's not right. He compared himself to his brother, who does a couple of after school activities, and he was like, he gets to do them. And as a mom hearing that, I was kind of like, but behind closed doors, talking with my husband about it, like, all right, maybe I shouldn't, maybe we shouldn't do that, maybe we should only cut a little bit. Let's see. I feel kind of bad because he's right, his brother does do this. But I had to really put it in perspective. Him and his brother are 2 different people. Whereas my oldest could handle that, and he was for the most part, he's been able to get a handle on balancing the 2. This one, he just couldn't. He couldn't. And so they're 2 different children. They got to be handled in 2 different ways. And so we took out everything. That first day, y'all, that he got home at 3:45 as opposed to 7, he called me while I was still at work and was like, oh my gosh, Mom, like, I'm home and it's early and the sun is still shining, and can I watch a little bit of TV? And I was like, sure, you got like 30 minutes. Do some TV and then take out your books and all that. And when I got home that day, he was so excited. He was just like, I finished this, I finished that, I still got a little bit of this to do, but like, oh my gosh, that 3:45 versus 7 o'clock difference for him, though he didn't realize that it would have made a difference until it actually happened. It made a difference. And he started being able to get in bed at like 8:45, which makes a difference from 10:30 and 11 o'clock. Like 9 o'clock bedtime, waking up at 6 is a huge difference for a child, for me, like, versus like those hours of sleep matter. And so that was downgrade number 2. And then this was the next one is the biggest one that, I don't know, I just was moved to do it, right? So he has a lot of chores to do, right? Like, I have this son of mine, he does, he cleans the bathroom, that's like on the weekends, and he takes out garbage, and then he does his own laundry. So maybe it's not a lot of chores, but he has chores to do. And one of the things that I learned about him through observation, and y'all know I'm a big person, I'm big on observations. Like, if you ever watched any of my videos, I'm really big on just observe your children. Like, learn who your child is by observing them, watching them, learning their patterns, learning what they do, and that really helps you to formulate how to customize your parenting with that particular child. So one of the things I noticed about this son of mine, we'll call him Joe. We call him Joe for short. Joe is really simplistic with his wardrobe. So Monday through Friday, the next month, like each week, from week to week, you will see him wearing the same clothing. Now, he won't wear the same thing like Monday and then wear it Tuesday and then, whatever like that. But Monday, you'll see him wear it like that same outfit next Tuesday. And Wednesday, you'll see him wear it next Monday. Like, I notice he repeats the same clothing. And it always amazed me because I'm like, you have tons of clothing. Like, your wardrobe is overflowing with clothing, yet I keep seeing the same stuff. And even more so, I'm seeing this, like, the clothes that you don't wear, I'm seeing them out and on the floor and just in crazy places. And he would say, well, it's because when I'm looking for this, I kind of toss it, and then he mixes those things with when he takes off his clothes, the dirty things. And basically his room was starting to look crazy, y'all. Ever since September, like, his room, let's be for real, their room always kind of looks crazy. But it started looking crazier when he started back to school. And so I was like, you know what? You got like tons of clothes, but you're not wearing them. And I would even sometimes pull it out to go, did you know you have this? He's like, yeah, but I don't like those. And I don't like that. And I don't wear that. And I don't want, I said, you know what? Downgrade. And so this happened about 2 weeks ago that I did this huge downgrade. I pulled out his wardrobe, his drawers, everything entirely, and stripped them bare. There was nothing from dresser number 1 all the way down to 5, nothing. And I told him, pull out 7 outfits, like 7 tops, 7 bottoms, 4 pairs of shorts, your socks, like all the socks that you own, and all your underwear. Like, I threw it all on the bed, and I had him pull it out and literally count 7 pants, 7 shirts, his socks, his underwear, 4 pairs of shorts. And of course he picked from those choices that he was given, he picked the top ones that I always see anyway. Everything else that he didn't picked it up. I picked it up, threw it in a bin, put a lid on it, threw it in his closet. I said, you know what? It doesn't make sense to have your drawers that full, making it harder to get through things and get to things when you don't even wear any of it and you only wear these 7 things. You know what I mean? And at first he was like, but those are my clothes, like, don't put them away or whatever. And I had to ignore that. I was just like, you know what? Let me see how this works out. When I tell y'all, huge change. It did a couple of things. Less clutter in his drawers, meaning less things for him to look through and look for and throw to the side. It was just a lot of less clutter for him. Then also less choices. because when you have a lot of choices, sometimes it is hard for you to get to what you're supposed to get to. But then laundry was made much easier. On the weekends when it's time to do laundry, it's not so hard when you got only about 18 pieces of clothing that you have to wash. And so his laundry gets done like that by him, because I don't do his laundry, but and it made things better for him. When he throws his stuff in the drawer, he's done. It's simple. And I told him that, if he feels like he's missing a shirt or a pair of pants that he is like, that he remembers or thinks about that's packed away, then we could go in there and we'll get it out and we'll work it out. And that hasn't even happened. It's been 2 weeks and he is cool with the clothes that he has. Even when we packed for this trip, he was like, where's my 7 outfits? And he washed all of them and threw them in the laundry. And it works. And I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes we as parents, and then sometimes we trickle that down to our children, get all wrapped up in fashion and I can't wear the same thing you can only wear something like once a month because you're afraid to repeat things and make people have their little judgments and stuff about you. We're not about that life. Like it's clothing, and as long as it's clean, it's no holes in it, which whatever, to each his own. If there's holes in one's clothing, that's your business. But for us, the standard is clean clothes, no holes, minimal wrinkles, because I'm not about that ironing life too much. Make it work. And it's made a huge difference. So we downgraded his backpack, his after school schedule, his wardrobe, and things have been so much better for him. And so the lesson that it has taught me in doing it is, one, I'm sticking with my observation of my children because I love to watch them and see what they need and change things up accordingly. But 2, less is more sometimes. Don't get so caught up in all the clothing and the most stylish backpack and the most, activities thrown on their plate and the most gifts under your tree or whatever, because some of that stuff is just busyness. And busy does not mean productivity. And tons of presents don't mean love. And tons of activities don't mean your child will be the most successful in life. And so if we just hold on to those things and remember that sometimes less is more, and simplifying things means less stimulation for children, which sometimes then equals more downtime and thinking time for them and more time to process things, that is what matters. And so I just wanted to come on and share that to you, you hear me? Share that with you, share it with everyone, and hope that everyone, can grab something from this. I definitely learned a lot. I'm a mom of 3, but every day these children continue to teach me something new, and I am always open to learning it, and then of course passing it down in hopes that it will help someone. All right, y'all, take care, enjoy your holiday season, be safe, be careful, be blessed. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.